Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're digging into the wild story of Nano Banana 2, the AI image model with the kind of ridiculous name that basically showed up overnight and changed, well, everything.
So that leads to the big question, right? How on earth did a code name that sounds, well, completely silly become the face of the world's most powerful AI image generator? The crazy part? It pretty much was made up on the spot.
All right, so let's get right into this origin story, because it's a good one. You gotta understand, the name Nano Banana wasn't dreamt up by some genius marketing team. Nope, it was a total accident, basically born out of a last-minute panic.
So, get this, it's 2:30 in the morning. The Google DeepMind team is scrambling to meet a deadline to submit their new model for a totally anonymous public test. They need a code name, like right now. And product manager Nina Raising-Hani just throws out a combo of her own nicknames, Nano and Nina Banana. And boom, just like that, Nano Banana was born.
And what happened next is where things get really interesting. It gets submitted anonymously to this platform called LM Arena. That's a place where people vote on the best AI images without knowing who made them. And within weeks, this totally unknown model just rockets to #1. It created this massive buzz, this huge mystery in the community. So by the time Google finally raised its hand and said, hey, that's ours, the name was already a viral sensation.
And this number right here? This shows you just how much it crushed the competition. I mean, it didn't just win, it absolutely dominated, jumping up by 171 ELO points. Now, if you follow AI rankings, you know that's just insane. It's a leap nobody saw coming.
This quote just nails the feeling at the time. Observers were calling it a digital street fighter. It's this perfect image, right? This scrappy underdog that just walked into the ring and completely knocked out the reigning champs. You know, the big names like Dolly and Midjourney.
So, that begs the question, what is going on under the hood here? How does this thing actually think? And what makes it so different from everything that came before? Let's get into the tech.
Okay, so the secret sauce is this really cool concept called reasoning-guided synthesis. Now, here's the difference. Older models, they're kind of just making super sophisticated guesses about where pixels should go. But Nano Banana 2, it actually uses its language model brain to understand the prompt. It thinks about the logic, the physics, the relationships in a scene, all before it even starts drawing.
And it all works because of this pretty clever multi-stage process. Think of it like this. First, the AI acts like a creative director, just planning out the whole shot. Then, and this is the critical part, it looks at its own plan, finds the mistakes in things like anatomy or lighting, and corrects them. Only then does it render the final image. This little self-correction loop, that's the key to its amazing quality.
Right, so this new way of thinking gives the model some absolutely incredible abilities. We're talking superpowers that solve some of the biggest, most annoying problems users have had for years. Let's break down the top 3.
All right, so you've got 3 main things. First, it has real-time web grounding, which gets rid of that stale, old data problem. Second, you get this unbelievable character consistency, a massive deal for anyone trying to tell a story. And third, and maybe the one we've all been waiting for, it can finally write clean, readable text.
So, superpower number 1 is web grounding. You see, most AI models are basically trapped in the past, right? They're trained on data that's months or even years old. But Nano Banana 2, it's plugged directly into Google search. So you can ask it for a view from a window in Paris, and it'll generate an image that reflects the actual weather there, right now. It's like a bridge between the AI world and the real world.
Next up, consistency. And honestly, this has been the holy grail for creators for so long. The model can literally lock onto a character's face, their clothes, their style, and keep it exactly the same across tons of different images. For anyone making storyboards or comics or trying to keep a brand's look the same, this is an absolute game changer. That whole identity drift problem, gone.
And finally, text. Oh man, the text. We've all seen those AI images with that weird, garbled, almost demonic-looking script, right? Well, Nano Banana 2 completely fixes that. It gives you perfectly crisp, readable words. And get this, it can even translate that text into different languages right inside the image. For anyone in advertising or design, that is just huge.
And this chart really just lays it all out, right? It shows you the real-world impact. Each of those superpowers is a direct solution for a specific industry. You've got web grounding for journalists needing up-to-the-minute accuracy, character consistency for Hollywood and comic book artists, and perfect text for the entire advertising world. This thing was built as a professional tool from the ground up.
But you know how it goes. When you have this kind of massive, super fast adoption, things get chaotic. So let's talk about what happened when this incredibly powerful tool was unleashed on the public, and all the growing pains that came along with it.
Okay, let's talk money for a second. The official price from Google is already pretty cheap, but almost immediately third-party companies started a price war. And what that's done is drive the cost of making a professional 4K quality image down to like a few cents. It's becoming as accessible and cheap as sending a text message.
But that rollout was, well, it wasn't exactly smooth. This quote right here from a paid subscriber on Reddit really captures the mood. People were frustrated. They felt like the premium features they were paying for were just vanishing, with no explanation. It caused a lot of confusion and, frankly, a lot of anger.
And here's the reason why. Google rolled out this new unified interface that got rid of the dedicated Pro button. Now, they said that the new thinking mode would automatically scale up to Pro quality when needed, but to a lot of users, it just felt like a massive downgrade. It created this whole missing model crisis for the very people who were paying for that top-tier access.
But, of course, the community is incredibly clever. Users started figuring out their own hacks and workarounds to deal with all the platform's little quirks. We're talking about things like typing "generate a static image" into the prompt just to avoid it making an unwanted video, or uploading a blank PNG file to force the right aspect ratio. It's really a testament to how creative and dedicated the users are.
So yeah, despite all those rollout problems, the fact that users were willing to jump through all these hoops, that tells you just how powerful this tool really is. It was worth the hassle. So let's zoom out one last time. Where does Nano Banana 2 really fit in the big picture, and what does its arrival actually mean for all of us?
This table here really breaks it down nicely. Look, Midjourney might still have a bit of an edge when it comes to pure artistic style, but where Nano Banana 2 wins, and wins big, is on raw speed and professional features. That near-perfect text rendering and the high level of editing control, that makes it the new go-to for any kind of production work where speed and accuracy really matter.
And that brings us to what might be the most crucial point of all. Nano Banana 2 isn't just another small update. This is what many are calling the GPT-4 moment for images. It's that huge leap forward that takes something that was once a specialized skill, high-end digital creation, and turns it into a cheap, easy-to-use utility that's available to literally everyone.
And so that leaves us with this one massive, lingering question. When professional-grade creation becomes as easy and as cheap as sending a text message, what does it even mean to be a creator anymore? When the technical skill is all but removed from the equation, what's left?